How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday. As we do every Friday, we come together here, hang out at the end of a long work week, which, especially here in Arizona, we had an entire week above 100 degrees. After a long work week, smoke a little bit of herb, talk about the news, talk about the decline of Western civilization, and trying to make sense of it all. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Liberty Swine. How you doing this week, man?
Damn fine, like you said, out here dealing with the heat and living it, bro.
It's
What
fucking
about yourself, man? How was your
unbearable.
week? Yeah,
This place
absolutely
is
hot, man.
place is inhospitable.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before we broke record temps for this time of year. So we're
Yep.
off to a good start. Not as bad as Phoenix though. I saw a relative of mine posted up there earlier today. It was 112. So
Right.
it's really doing it.
Right. So just so you guys know, if you would like to lower the temperature here in Arizona, we're going to need to make sure that you get your donations and send them to the World Economic Forum. And right, you're going to need to go to a climate action now. Uh, yeah, I'm just kidding. Please don't do that shit. Those people are fucking grifters. They're just going to rip you off because they're evil people. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the news real quick. Of course, this week was the start of the Hunter Biden trial. Right. Of course, this trial is for the gun charge, the apparently lying on a federal firearms form. Right. So basically, the 4473, I believe it is, the form basically that you fill out whenever you buy a firearm, and it's the background check. Right. The background check that all these lefties are always screaming about that never get done, but quite literally you have to get done for every single gun sale, including private sales. But yeah, so Hunter Biden is on trial for that. We're going to be talking about that. We also got, let's see, Biden's executive border action, right? Because of course it's 5 months before the election. Why not? Right? Why not? I mean, it's the hot fucking thing that everybody's talking about. It's what people are saying is going to decide the 2024 election. Why not decide to take executive action on it now, even though you've been saying for the past 4 years that, I have no power to do anything about it. It needs to be an act of Congress. And then all of a sudden, now that it's election season, of course, you know. We also got Russia, right? So as we've been saying, Russia's not going to forget everything that we've been doing with Ukraine this entire time, right? And it seems that obviously that is come to be true, as Russia has basically declared the United States and NATO as the enemy. Right. This is coming from a press secretary, essentially saying that we are going to treat them as, or they treat us as their enemies, so therefore we treat them as their enemy. I don't know. I got the quote. We'll read it in a little bit, but basically saying that NATO in the West is the enemy of Russia. All right. So we'll be talking about that. I mean, it could possibly be the beginning of World War III. Right. It's just not declared yet. We also got more political persecution as Steve Bannon has been ordered to report to prison. All right, he's been ordered to report to prison over his failure to appear for Congress. So basically, they're holding him in contempt of Congress. And of course, as we know, somebody else, well known within the political sphere, has done this recently. And it really just shows the stark contrast in our justice system in terms of the weaponization of the rule of law. Right. We've also got, you already knew it was going to happen. We got Pride versus Palestine. Right? These two groups were incompatible. We are all just waiting. We are just waiting for June. We are all just sitting there. I hope these fucking free Palestine protests last until the month of June. Well, now you guys know why. Because these two ideologies are completely at odds. Like more at odds than the United States and the Middle East. Like those two ideologies could get along better than the LGBTQ pride community and the Islamic people. No, that's a obvious stuff has taken place. Well, we also are going to take a look at some videos of some of the stuff that has taken place, and you tell me who's on which side. Right, this looks to me just like control, like not even control, just chaos. It's just chaos in the streets. Because why not? It's 2024, end of the world. And then what we're starting with tonight is, of course, Poopgate. Right. So it was reported that Joe Biden went down to go give a speech in France for for D-Day, right? For the D-Day invasion, of course. It was the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and basically there's a clip that was taken out, and basically showing Joe Biden do a bit of a squat, right? A bit of a squat, and it's a very awkward looking squat, right? So as the day progressed, it more came out. Basically, the entirety of the context of the clip came out, and it does, I don't know, at least to me, look like he is just shit for brains and doesn't know how to take social cues. He doesn't see everybody else standing around him, and he is going to try and take a seat. Right? That's what it looks like, with the rest of the context and stuff like that. But it doesn't change the fact that this dude more than likely shits himself, as it has been reported when he went to go see the Pope down at the Vatican, that they needed to rush him away for a certain incident, right? But I don't know, what's your thoughts on Poopgate while I load up this video, man?
I mean, it's hilarious, you know what I mean? But it's fucking asinine at the same time. I'm actually happy to hear you say that. I was wondering where you're going to go with it. Because you got some people out here that just put out, the shit out of context. And while, I'm obviously not a fan of fucking Joe Biden's, pretty obvious when you see it, the dude wasn't taking his shit. He's just a senile old man that wanted to sit down. You know what I mean? And you
Right,
could see his wife covering her mouth, fucking House Cooper Biddens and, stand the fuck up, Joe, or
right,
whatever she was saying, you know what I mean? But
right, right.
yeah, pretty obvious, the dude wasn't taking his shit. I said that from jump the first time I seen the clip. I was like, come on, dude, you guys are reaching now, man. But hilarious stuff. The memes and the little gifs and shit that are bouncing around the inner zones are
Dude,
fucking hilarious.
Poopgate was fucking trending for like 2 days, man. Like that shit
Yeah,
was
and,
great,
and I
man.
wouldn't doubt it again. The dude's fucking 80. You know what I mean? 80 year
It's a
olds
completely
fucking
believable explanation. It's
yeah. I mean,
completely believable.
yeah, yeah, and even if he did, 80-year-olds do. We know he's senile. Anyone with eyes and a functioning couple brain cells realizes dude's fucking gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I fully expect the more you see him descend and the lower his pull numbers get, they're going to use the old convicted felon to get out of the fucking debates. That's what I
Oh
see
yeah.
happening anyway.
Yeah. Most likely. I mean, this dude cannot speak.
Right.
He can't think. I mean, I don't have the video pulled up, but I mean, there's that video basically where he's talking about whether or not he's going to pardon Hunter Biden, and he basically just yeah. And then he talk. They ask him about fucking something with Russia, something like that. Or no, they ask him about the munitions that we allowed Ukraine to use in Russia, and he basically they're not going that far. It's in defense of Kharkiv. Like the dude looks like he's dead. Like the dude looks like he's taking his last gasps at life.
Yeah.
Um, so
Drugs
yeah,
only go so
obviously
far.
right, right, and especially if they get that drug test before the debate, which it'd be interesting, right?
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
don't see it
interesting to say the
happening
least.
again, though. He's
I
gonna
don't
say,
either,
"Fuck
but
you," you know what I mean? Hey, whether you
right,
like old Joe Bribens or not, he is the president of the fucking United States at this moment, and, it's
right,
just, fuck you, dude. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Really.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, like let's go ahead and check out this video real quick. So again, like we said, people were basically. I'll go ahead and show you where the video was stopped at, but this is the I guess full context.
He's like, "I'm about to sit down, dude."
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin
She's like, "Joe, shut
III.
your dumb ass up."
Right. So they pretty much the original video was stopped like right there. Right. So he's doing a couple squats, looking mighty awkward. And you got Jill Biden just like, stand the fuck up, Joe. Stand up, you fucking idiot. Yeah. So yeah, like I said,
The Honorable Lloyd J.
it's
Austin
not
III,
unbelievable,
Secretary of Defense
just
of the United States of America.
how far and wide this video spread and how quickly really just goes to show you how believable of an explanation is that Joe Biden finally his butt's been wiped.
Right. And you see these old cats in the background, apparently some of which are up to like 104 years old, and they're way more cognizant than fucking Joe Biden. So
Right.
there's video of these guys
Right.
walking, themselves around the beach and bending down, touching the water. I could see Joe Biden just falling boom on his face into the water and shit, and just trying to touch it. Fucking dude's gone, man.
Yeah. It must be I wonder how how they must feel just sitting there watching. This is what the country that you fought for has become. You know what I mean? Like, and they're the last people to actually, I guess, fight in defense of the country rather than just in defense of our sovereignty or in defense of our global hegemony or anything like that. It's this. Imagine just them in their final days like that, watching what the nation has become, watching what our leader looks like watching the fact that they're more spry than the person that was born at the time that they were over there storming the fucking beaches.
Yeah, I just I recently watched a video that resurfaced. It was from I think 2 years ago, and it was one of these veterans, and they did an interview, and they're asking him a similar question, like, "How do you view the country at this point?" And like the dude just breaks down into tears, and
Right.
basically, we fought the Marxists to watch our country become Marxist, man.
Yep. That's the reality. But yeah, I mean, it is election season, so obviously these types of campaigns, these, to, I guess, pun intended, smear campaigns are to be expected, but we do have some more deeper issues, right? This is a little bit lighthearted, Joe Biden shit himself, but we do have a bit more deeper.
Right, it's Friday. You got to start it off with a ha ha ha. Fucking the memes were great, dude. I want to see what the Dilly meme team rolls out, but
right,
absolutely not important.
Right. So we do have more, I guess, political campaigning in terms of the Biden administration, and basically they have said that they're going to, or they basically told Steve Bannon that he has to come down and report to prison, right? So I don't know the full context of the story. I didn't actually read any articles. I've just kind of picked up from what I've seen, saw the clips around the internet, stuff like that. But yeah, so essentially what I've picked up is that he was held in contempt of Congress for I guess refusing to come down. I'm not too sure what the whole thing was all about. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with fucking January 6th, but I'm sure you could give us a bit more context to it, man. So what's going on with old Bannon?
It definitely was, man, and they subpoenaed him to come testify, and him under the umbrella of Trump claimed executive fucking privilege, which we saw Obama bail out just about every person he could in his administration, using the exact same fucking terminology, and and then Trump basically rescinded the privilege, and Bannon said, "Okay, well, I'll come. If Trump's going to cooperate, I'll cooperate." And then they were like, "Nope, it's too late. Where's pressing charges?" You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's actually in the midst of an active appeal, and the judge is ordering him to jail. And again, it's for basically shirking a subpoena. And we know old Hunter Bidens did the exact same thing. And not only did he flaunt it, but the dude stood outside and held a press conference outside of the chambers, and made a show of saying "fuck you," and yet,
right,
no issues.
It's fucking funny. He stands outside of the fucking the Congress and basically gives a press briefing saying that, like, "Oh, I came down here to answer any questions they have. I'm not afraid of anything. I'll go in there and talk to them." And then he immediately gets in the car and drives away. That's just,
and that's
great,
even
man.
when he did go in front of Congress, if you remember, as soon as it was basically like the Democrats were done questioning him, the Republicans got a few in. As soon as MTG started talking, that fool got the fuck up, walked out of chambers, man. You know what I mean? With his legal staff.
I actually do believe I got it right here somewhere. I pull up a lot of motherfucking videos for this.
But I mean,
Oh yeah, there we go.
you remember Obama, man? He used this executive privilege to, with his own AG, to prevent him from having to testify in front of fucking Congress, man. And Congress threw the old, it's defiance of a subpoena, and again, it was, oh well, executive fucking privilege,
Right.
y'all.
Right. Two-tier justice system, boy.
Right.
Right. Let's go ahead and check out this video. So this is Hunter Biden basically getting up and walking out of Congress. I do wonder though, could he basically use the excuse like I went for a whole 30 seconds and I walked out.
I had to
But
take a shit, man.
Right? I had to go real bad, man.
With drugs.
Sweating, bro. Had to shit like a football, man. Just need some X-Lax. Yeah, man, let's go ahead and check out this video real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh!
I'd like to remind
run in
Mr.
there, run in.
Chairman.
Wow, that's bad.
The House committees to see what and how relevant information to any legitimate inquiry could be provided. Our first 5 offers were due, and then in November, they issued a subpoena for a behind closed doors deposition, a tactic that the Republicans have repeatedly misused in their political crusade to selectively leak and mischaracterize what witnesses have said.
All right.
You remember this whole time, dude, for
basically,
years,
like I
my
said,
whole
this is
life. Dude, they don't have arrest power. It's like you shirk a subpoena. It is what it is. They hold you in contempt,
right?
Fine or something, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, they could make recommendations. They can make recommendations to the DOJ and stuff like that. But as far as I, no, they can't actually, have you arrested themselves. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's it's just right. It's just a clear show of the escalation in political lawfare that we have taking place in our country right now. Like I said, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, if you just don't want to fucking go along with the system, you are the enemy, right? And basically what they're doing is they see that the more they attack Donald Trump, the more support he gets, right? Obviously, I don't think they actually see that. I think they're still idiots, and they're still going to keep going down this same tactics that they've been doing. Basically, they're going to play the convicted felon thing to the fullest and all that. But what they're really doing is they're starting to pick off the people below him, right? I forgot who it was, but they actually pointed out something really kind of important in terms of MAGA and Trump. Trump, he's a magnet. He could get all of the attention. He could get all of the votes. He could get, he could speak all the rhetoric. He could get everybody on his side. But when it comes to getting MAGA candidates elected, a lot of the, basically, like I said, Trump just kind of, steals all of the energy from everything, right? So he can recommend MAGA candidates, but like we're seeing with the, like Brandon Herrera, stuff like that, they don't necessarily always seem to pan out as much, I forgot where I was going with that, but basically, they're going after the lower MAGAs, right? They're going after the mini MAGAs, and that's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to scare away the flock. That's what they're doing, right?
What's crazy though, dude, is like you're saying, they're going for underlings, political team, right? But it's people that have been already basically disassociated. They're MAGA still, what have you, especially like Bannon, right? I mean, he talks about the reelection of Trump on a daily basis. But, they're people that have already been, distanced from the campaign since 2016, 2017. Most of the time that they have charges, it's not even in connection with Trump. Even Bannon, in reality, it's a contempt of court, basically. You know what I mean? It's not really associated with Trump. I mean, they're just throwing the book at all these fools. And then you think of like Peter Navarro, and Paul Manafort, all these dudes are like older cats, right? And what's the excuse for not prosecuting Biden? Because he's old, well-meaning manses, but yet these guys, they'll come fucking, heavily armed, troops in the middle of the night, kicking doors in and having CNN crews posted up on the corner, fucking at the ready. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all political show and definitely a punishment, but it's not working, man.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess one thing that would make sense as to why it's not anything connected to Donald Trump and why they're just going after political people on the other side of the aisle, or just people that have been associated with Trump for different stuff completely unrelated to Donald Trump, is basically, like I said, Donald Trump sucks the air out of the room, right? If they were being charged with anything related to Donald Trump, every single commentator would instantly be like, no, actually, we'd instantly be at their defense, right? But yet we see Rudy Giuliani is being charged here in Arizona, and everyone's just like, oh, that sucks, like fucking all these other people being charged all over the place. Trump's lawyers are being fucking charged, and everyone's just like, oh, that sucks. But anyway, back to this Trump case, and again, I understand, the dude's, like I said, he's magnetic in his character, he draws people to him, right? Everyone Trump is the talk of the world right now, right? And so I could understand that, but like I said, that's a tactic that they noticed is usable, that they can do, right? And basically, like I said, you scare away the fucking flock, you scare away the base. What does he got left? He's basically just got everybody cheering him on from afar.
Yeah, and it's not even scaring the base because, like I said, these fools are in actual reality not even associated with the campaign and haven't been associated with even the Trump administration since its fucking early days. You know what I'm saying? At best, man. Fucking, but like the terminology you used earlier, like he's like a magnet. He is like, yeah, he attracts fucking, so much to him. But let's think about magnets; they're also polarizing, and you know what I mean. We'll push the opposite away, right? So,
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll really just have to see how things play out. Like I said, they're not going to stop. They're going to do everything they can.
Not.
Even past the election, even past the inauguration, even fucking past his term, even past his second term. They're going to
That's hence the reason for all the state crimes, because he can't pardon himself or anything like that. Like they can keep that shit going, or put it on pause and wait for his term to be over. As soon as he walks out of the White House, there's fucking agents out there like, well, you know what I mean? Hands behind your back.
I'll be honest, man. I'm hoping we make it that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You hope Joe Biden's makes it that long. I know that sounds weird, but that's the dude we want to be running against.
Right. Yep. And that's why I still hold true to my prediction. The Democrats are not going to let him be their candidate. Like they're going to do whatever they can to get that motherfucking old, pants pooping fucking old son of a bitch out of the race.
Who could they put? Who could they?
I don't. Fuck, I don't know, man. Like I say, it's a wild card. They really don't have much of anybody else. But I mean, I don't know. Either that, or they're going to just try and focus on camels. Just because obviously everybody knows if you reelect Joe Biden, you're really just electing the vice president, because there's no way that he's going to make it through another term.
She's got a lower approval rating than he does, dude. That's a serious job on their hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to rebuild this bitch's entire personality, persona. You got to cut out the cackles. You got to, know what I mean?
When it comes to the left, when it comes to the Democrats, though, they don't give a shit who's in what position. It doesn't matter. You're literally, Senator number 2, Senator number 3, Senator number 4, right? You are vice president, whatever. You play the role of president this term or whatever. They don't necessarily care as long as the person's able to get elected. It's not like anybody in the Democrat Party themselves actually makes decisions. It's all brought down from the higher ups. It's all brought down from the donor class. It's all from the fucking American oligarchs, or from the just the globalists.
Well, I agree with you as far as that, like who the choice is going to be. I mean, she has a lower approval rating with their own party. I mean, you remember when she was running,
that's what I'm saying.
Less than 1%. You know what I'm saying?
They're not going to expressly say that basically if you're voting for Joe Biden, you're electing Kamala Harris, but everybody understands that that's what it is, and basically I guess they're just going to try and shoo her in through old Joe Biden's, right? But they're definitely not making any plans for what they're going to do with the next Joe Biden term. They're planning on how they're going to get this motherfucker out of there.
And that's why you got, the heads coming out like fucking, James Carville coming out and basically, telling the media not only to use slanted coverage, but, basically spreads misinformations about Trump. You know what I'm saying? They're grasping straight across, coming out of the woodwork, like, on podcasts and fucking nationally broadcast television. Like, let's cheat. I mean, we got to do what we got to do because democracy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why that's another thing I'm just worried about is like I say, this is an all or nothing game for them. I wouldn't put it past them to, and again, with how overt they're being with their obviously authoritarian police state tactics, I wouldn't put it past them to very overtly, right in front of your faces, rig the election. Especially with all of the the election was rigged and all that type of talk, and especially with a lot of the people on our side basically that have either through digital persecution, through big tech platforms and stuff like that, banning people for basically saying that the Democrats in any way interfered in the election. If you say anything other than it was the most fairest and cleanest election in human history that's ever existed in all time, then basically your entire livelihood was destroyed, right? So a lot of people have turned away from that entire talking point, right? And it's basically been turned into kind of like a cried wolf type thing. You know what I mean? And so basically, if they do it straight overtly in your face, obviously, like I say, we're living through 1984 style propaganda, right? They're basically going to do it right in front of your face and say, no, we've always done it like this. Like, like they're going to gaslight the entire thing, but just enough to where we are very much aware of what the fuck they did, right? And then they're basically going to come out and like, oh no, those same old MAGAs, they're crazy. They're going to go do another January 6th and blah, 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 because they can't take that they lost. And then it's, like I say, it's I hope the country can make it another term,
Yeah. I mean, I believe that neither side is going to accept the results. I think, if Trump does, it's too overwhelming to fucking print or go burr their way out, right? It's going to, he didn't really win. It's because Russia's and China's. And then, if the left wins, it's like, dude, they fucking did it again. They fucking did it again, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
demoralization process.
It's going to be a wild fucking winter. That's, I could definitely tell you that. And of course, like you said, the old Democrats aren't going to stop. You got your fucking normal, suspects, Dan Goldman and fucking, cancer-ridden Raskin and all them cats, dude, out there fucking, we're already drawing up papers to say that he can't run or he can't be in the position with the felonies. I mean, they're going to try every fucking thing they can, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be definite tie up. And, if he doesn't take both chambers, it's going to be a rough one, dude. It's going to be nothing but executive fiat. And, no matter how good it does or is, it'll be undone the first moment another Democrat walks in the fucking position.
Right. Yep. Good luck, everybody.
It's a little hard to remain fucking not black-pilled, man. It's fucking, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't ever want to fucking descend into nihilism, dude. But I mean, it gets a little bit ridiculous, and especially like when you know more than just the political aspect, the economic aspect,
I don't necessarily
of the dollar's status.
I wouldn't say I necessarily feel nihilistic about it because I know that there's a cyclical process to everything, and it's not like we're going to be in a absolute shithole, deserted wasteland for the next 100 years. Obviously we're going through a very tumultuous period that's going to bring about a complete changing of the times here in America, possibly even the entire world. We're going through a major change right now, but ultimately I have faith that this isn't the end of everything. You know what I mean? I have faith that it's not going to be, fucking mutually assured destruction, shit like that. like I say, it's going to get very, very bad. It's going to get very bad. It's basically as long as like I said, hopefully you make it. Good luck, everybody. But ultimately, I do still believe that it's going to be shit, probably fucking decade, maybe 2 decades max of rough fucking times, and then things will start to restabilize. The good times will keep rolling, man.
It's a long time.
Right. Like I said, I didn't say it's going to be a fun process. It's going to be, definitely a testing, but ultimately it's also going to wipe clean a lot of this immoral entitlement, this basically leftism, this woke bullshit that we have going on in America, right?
We need a metaphorical fucking deluge.
Right. Yeah. It's a coming, man. It's a coming. All right. But I don't know which way you want to go, man. You want to go Pride versus Palestine? You want to go to the border?
Either or, man. I mean, at this point, they're both the laughing stock, so roll with it.
All right. Let's see. I got an article here of
gays for Palestines.
Right. As you guys can see from the thumbnail, the Islamic people aren't too fond of the Pride crowd, to put it lightly.
And the TikTok videos, dude, hilarious, right? The transmissions out here. Like, people say if I was the Palestinians, I'd be thrown off a building. Truth is, I'm more unsafe in America. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? I'll buy a plane ticket for you, Bobby.
I mean, based off the shit that we just talked about, technically they probably are more unsafe in America. If you can't chop some fucking wood, or if you can't fucking, if you can't fucking grow a garden that's not on fucking a piece of cardboard with this much soil on top, you're probably not gonna fucking make it when the shit actually hits the fan. So basically, like I say, we're undoubtedly in for some rough seas ahead, right? And depending on how bad things get. If it were to get to that absolute dystopian for fucking 20 years before things start getting good, by that time, fucking every single one of these lefty people that has not at that point, turned themselves around and decided to get right, they're gone. They are no longer in existence. There's no possible way that lifestyle can be sustainable when the shit hits the fan and everybody's fighting over a fucking loaf of bread, right? Nobody's going to give 2 shits about your pronouns. Nobody's going to give 2 fucking shits about how oppressed you are. Everybody's fucking oppressed at that point. Nobody gives a shit. Right. Shit, at least fucking get right with common sense. Shit. Like, fuck, dude, figure something out, man. But yeah,
what the hell's wrong with it? You can't get right.
Can't get right. Yep, that's modern half of America. Let's get into this article. So Trump blasts Biden's immigration executive order. He's totally lost control. All right, so this is from June 6, 2024. Former President Donald Trump excoriated President Joe Biden's recently announced executive order cracking down on immigrants seeking asylum at the U.S. southern border in a campaign appearance in Arizona, a crucial battleground and border state. Biden's order is not a border security plan. It is a concession to the fact that he has lost control over our border, and he's totally lost control over the border, and it's a really dangerous place, Trump said during a Phoenix town hall event with Turning Point Action CEO Charlie Kirk Thursday afternoon. Trump claimed he would reverse the order on his first day in office if he is reelected to the White House. He's conceding death and he's conceding defeat at the border. On day one of my administration, I will be rescinding Crooked Joe's outrageous executive order, Trump continued, and I will be slamming the door shut on the Biden. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say on the Biden migration app. And I will terminate every single open borders policy of the Biden administration as soon as I take the oath of office. It will take place. The Biden administration unveiled. The Biden administration unveiled the executive order Tuesday afternoon that closes the border after the number of immigrants who have entered the United States unlawfully exceeds 2,500 per day. Woo, he's really doing things, right? Seems oddly familiar to that bill that we shot down, right? I think I remember something like that. That was basically almost verbatim this exact fucking policy.
Yeah, they just cut the fucking number for the day cutoff in half.
Right. And that's yep. Good deal. Doing big things, man.
Mhm.
You know, obviously, like I said, election season. See, the order was met with swift blowback, not just from Republicans, but from Democrats. Groups such as the American Civil Liberties Union threatened to sue the administration over the order. In an interview with ABC News on Thursday, Joe Biden stood by the executive order timing just 5 months before the election, as polls show immigration is a top concern. If he had acted sooner, Biden told David Muir, he would be blamed for, quote, blowing up the better and more expansive border legislation pending in the Senate. Right, so that's that legislation that we were talking about. Basically, it's almost the exact same thing, just double. Right. See, so Muir asked Biden to respond to Trump's claim that the asylum executive order is, quote, weak and pathetic. And Joe Biden responded with, "Is he describing himself? Huh? Weak and pathetic." Right? We actually got the clip right here. It's about 20 seconds. Check this out.
Your opponent, Donald Trump, he has said of your executive action, he's pretending to finally do something about the border, but it's all about show. He says we have a debate coming up. Biden's executive order is weak and pathetic.
Is he describing himself? Weak and pathetic?
You are the one who's weak and then pathetic. I know you are, but what am I? Good times. Campaign season.
Trump was talking about the bill, talking about the context, and of course, like typical leftisms. Right, that homonyms, dude.
I take that personally.
Right.
In Arizona, Trump claimed he would go further than Biden to secure the border. Quote, "I want to send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home where they belong. They have to go back home," he said, because quite simply, Joe Biden wants an invasion. I want a deportation. Under the Trump administration, we will not be apologizing to illegal alien criminals. We will be putting them behind bars and throwing them out of our country rapidly, he later said. The former president shouted out controversial former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, whom he pardoned in 2017 on stage. Arpaio was convicted of criminal contempt of court after disregarding a judge's order to stop jailing people he suspected of entering the U.S. illegally. Right? Again, these contempt of courts, they seem to be a thing that sticks if you are a conservative. It doesn't necessarily matter if you are a Democrat or if you are the son of the current president. All right.
Some of the things we get them on, dude. Like it's like a secondary crime. Like yours is resisting arrest is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're not letting us kidnap you. That's a crime.
You sons of a bitch. This is a threat to democracy, that Joe Arpaio. He said, Donald Trump said, "I don't kiss men." Right? Donald Trump said, "I don't kiss men, but I kiss him," Trump said, as the two men embraced. "We had a real border with this guy. People said he was too tough. Now they're saying, where's Sheriff Joe?" The Biden campaign pounced on the moment on social media, saying, quote, "Trump brings Joe Arpaio on stage. A convicted criminal pardoned by Trump who racially profiled and abused immigrants," the campaign posted on X. Right, there's that whole thing that we said. You know, they're going to that's going to be the campaign slogan of the entire Biden administration. Is basically like, oh, well, he's a convicted felon, convicted criminal. Oh, look at him, he hangs out with other convicted criminals, right?
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. But then again, you know, if your
all their
son's
little
smoking,
social media stooges.
all right, yep. Yeah, fucking. But if your son's smoking crack and you know, banging hookers and you know, abandoning his kids and shit like that, no big deal. No big deal. He's going through a rough time. All right, why you guys tripping? You guys this political, ain't it?
Proud of my son.
All right. Smartest man I know. Yeah, in a completely what is it, intellectual sense,
In Bizarro World.
right? Absolute genius.
Like, don't ever do that shit to me again, dude.
Right. What's wrong with you, motherfucker? See, the GOP is hoping that the public's growing concern with the border crisis will help Trump win a second term while flipping control of the Senate from Democrats and retaining the House. Several Republican lawmakers joined Trump at the Phoenix event in a show of strength and support. Reps Eli Crane, Andy Biggs, Debbie Lesko, and Paul Gosar, along with Arizona Republican senatorial candidate Carrie Lake and Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican from Ohio, were among those lawmakers backing up the former president. The event marks Trump's first appearance in Arizona since a Manhattan jury found him guilty of falsifying business records related to an alleged affair with porn star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election, which is a misdemeanor, by the way. But they're trying to say that, like, oh, because it was, you know, in furtherance of trying to interfere in the election, that it's a federal crime. But the federal courts aren't going to go after it, so we actually have a law here in New York. Stupid shit. Stupid shit.
Scormy manuals. Like, I just got to
Right.
throw a little tidbit in, dude. I was just curious, of course, for research purposes only. I went and checked out one of her videos, dude, and she's ill.
Yeah. When was her era from? Like, is she like was she like a recent porn star, or was she like back in the 90s and shit?
Like, I would assume that's probably when it started, but you know, the one I seen appeared to be, you know, decent quality, like early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Shit. And at the same time, I mean, you know, Trump. That's
For
good.
research purposes.
Absolutely for research purposes. I mean, you know, that's how Trump was living back in the day, man. Everybody's just hating. That's all.
I don't know. Do you see them videos of that cat in the clubs in the fucking 80s in New York and shit? And
Right.
just surrounded by chicks. I'm sure they're all cooked, dude.
Yep. Let's see. The former president blasted the ruling and maintained his stance that the justice system was, quote, rigged against him. We obviously maintain that stance as well. See, I just went through a rigged trial in New York with a highly conflicted, and I mean highly conflicted judge, where there was no crime. It was made up, fabricated stuff, Trump said, disparaging Judge Juan Merchan, who presided over the trial and whose daughter was paid by the Democratic Party. Before the trial started, keep that in mind, right? Democrats began attacking Trump hours before he spoke at the Turning Point event, saying, quote, after canceling not one, not two, but 3 trips to the state, Trump is finally making his way to Arizona. But instead of meeting with working families, he's choosing to spend time with the most extreme Arizonans he knows, the Arizona GOP and Turning Point.
Extremesies, dude.
The most
Charlie
extreme
Kirk
Arizonans he could find. Fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Yep. The Democratic National Committee spokesperson Cameron Neven said in a statement, the DNC also went up with its first paid advertisement in Phoenix, highlighting Trump's status as a convicted felon. Oh, who could have seen that coming? Later Thursday evening, in an interview Trump conducted with television host Dr. Phil McGraw, which will air on Merritt Street Media, Trump claimed that his family members are at the top of his mind as he battles against 4 criminal cases. When the crowds aren't cheering, what's the darkest moment you think of, McGraw asked. I'm pretty sure he's been asked that before. I forgot. I'm pretty sure I remember someone else asking him that, actually. No, but the hardest part for me is my family, Trump said. It's hard on my family. I have a very good wife, and she reads this crap. Yet when McGraw attempted to plead with the former president to back away from campaigns of retribution, he appeared to take the suggestion seriously in a clip released before the interview aired. Revenge does take time, Trump said. Right? So that's
they're going to take it out of context and not let him expound. Yeah, I mean, he did go on to say other shit that, you know, puts that into context, of course, bro. But, you know, the fucking border bill, like you said, it's strictly codifying fucking, illegal immigration, dog. I mean,
Yep.
and that the cutoff is only at illegal places of entry. Like it says right in the context, dude, like to, just go to a legal port of entry. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's a
Right.
constant fucking shenanigan wheel. You know what I mean? And it's a pretend, and this dude ain't gonna do shit. It's not even gonna be a show. It's just a look. I signed this order, and
Right.
it's just turning Trump into what he hates, dude. Because that's his idea of fixing it is coming in and doing exactly what Biden just did, which was 93 executive orders in his first days. And I'm not saying that's gonna work out bad. I'm not saying that'll be a bad thing, but we're not electing kings here, and it blows that it has to be that way.
Right. Really shit, dude. We just got to do what I was talking about fucking before. We just got to pull one of those Democrat things, right? That's basically what they're doing right now, right? Again, this doesn't actually solve any border issues, right? It just pretty much codifies it into law, right? Shit,
While
we could
he's in
do
office, at least.
right. I mean, basically, we could do the same type of shit, right? I mean, we have the power in Congress right now. We could set forth a bill that's the amnesty for all non-citizen migrant workers in America bill. Right? What that bill does is it basically, it's going to make it's going to grant blanket amnesty for all of these people that just came through, right? And basically, they're going to be given green cards so they could work. The only thing is, you broke the law. You broke federal law to come here, and we can't just let that slide, right? So you are going to be a convicted felon, and that's the end of it. You ain't going to get any voting rights. You're not going to be able to buy, any guns, anything like that, which we're going to talk about in a little bit with the, guns and stuff like that. But you're not going to be able to buy, basically you can come here to work, right? Like you said, you're seeking asylum, right? Matter of fact, we'll change it from non-immigrant workers to all asylum seekers, right? Blanket amnesty for all asylum seekers. That's what we're going to call the bill, right? And like I said, it's basically like, okay, well, we'll let you come here and work, but you're going to be basically a second-class citizen, right? You're going to have to answer for the crimes that you committed to come here. But like you said, your government is politically persecuting you right now. It's either that, or you could stay where you live and be politically persecuted in whichever fucking way you think you're being politically persecuted, right? So, but basically, what they're doing is obviously, like I said, Democrats aren't going to vote for that. But again, all we have to do, right? Right. It does, like I said, it doesn't matter. The only thing that actually matters is basically being able to say that, oh well, we tried to put an amnesty bill forward and they turned it down. They don't actually want this and that. Basically do the same type of shit that they're doing. Just
And let's
flip it
not
around
forget, this Congress did put forth a border bill immediately upon taking the House, and Kevin McCarthy was still there. SB2, I believe it's called, and it's a real plan to secure the border, fully funded, all this kind of shit. And of course, old rat faced Shocky Schumer won't even bring it to the Senate for a vote, man. So
right.
that.
Yeah, because our government doesn't actually do anything. Our government doesn't actually do anything of substance. They don't solve any problems. It's all a game.
Just make that. Yeah.
It's a fucking game. Like it's a literal game. Like that's what I'm saying. You got to fucking play. Like you're not actually trying to solve anything. You're just trying to smear the other guy. That's the entire purpose of the game. You're trying to smear the other guy. Right. Right. You're trying to smear the other guy, try to get him caught up in traps, and try and collect donation money. Right. That's what government is. That's the function of the American government. Right.
Right. Invest heavily in what you regulate.
Right. And obviously, anybody with like I said, two brain cells to rub together would be able to tell you, oh, how do you solve the border fucking crisis? Maybe we could build a barrier right there, and then maybe we could, I don't know, enforce the immigration process that we already have on the books, and I don't know, maybe we could set up security along the border to catch people that may be trying to enter illegally. And then maybe people that we catch trying to enter illegally, maybe we should arrest them and put them in jail and then send them back.
One thing we can do,
right.
We can continue Biden's catch and release.
Right.
Catch them, dude, and then immediately release them on the other side of the border.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
real.
But yeah, like I said, the problems are easily solved. It's just everything is politics. Doesn't matter. No, they're not looking out for your best interest, right? It's all politics. It's all just,
To put on a show.
right. It's a show. Yep. That's what I say, man. Start fucking trying to beat them at their own game and shit. But obviously, if we're trying to come back to some sort of sense of normality, basically, like we've been saying, I mean, basically just our elected officials need to start taking action, need to start standing up for the rule of law, need to start doing anything other than just being, a seat warmer and a vote. They need to start taking action. And I forgot where I was going with all that, but yeah.
No, we need like state representatives to take action, similar to what's cracking, right? And you keep getting the fucking older Republicans or stat quo fucks, of course. Like, we can't do the same thing. You can't become what you hate to like beat what you hate. And I feel similar in a lot of areas, right? But without these fools feeling the brunt of the heat that they're bringing, right? They're going to keep doing it, man. You
Right.
know what I mean? And that's why they do it, because there's zero fucking repercussions. And like you said, it's gotten more blatant to the point of you're worried about them just stealing the whole deal, right in front of you without even trying to hide it this time or what have you. I mean, that tells you something. You know what I mean? Obviously, the government has too much fucking power, and 95% of these people, if not more, are completely unworthy of your trust, man. And
Yep.
you got to go the old Bonhino route. And you look at them like tools, like they're fucking wrenches and hammers. And if a tool you need to to get the job done isn't functioning, you throw that bitch away and get a new one, man. You know what I mean? You don't keep voting them into fucking office.
Right. Yep. That would be nice. But like I said, I honestly believe that, like, fuck it, dude, let's go with political warfare. Like I said, I don't see an exit ramp. I don't see any way out of this. Like I said, I think they are intentionally trying to destroy every single fabric of this society in order to basically, like I said, they're trying to sink the ship because they're trying to fucking, like, oh, actually we rebuilt the ship over here, and so everybody's, we're new government, fucking, like I said, I think they're the sink is, I mean, the ship is sinking. Like, it doesn't matter how much we try to fucking keep shoveling off water, it is sinking. And I think the Democrats have known that, because they're the ones intentionally putting in the holes. And basically the entire purpose is, like I said, they already have another plan, another ship, another, form of a extremist government. And basically they're looking at the Chinese and stuff like that. And so basically, like I said, this is the direction that it's going in. And I basically my thought is, when the ship crashes, we need to be holding the fucking reins, like we can't fucking let them take over. Like I said, the destruction of America is taking place, and it is intentional. All right. So basically we need to destroy these people that are trying to destroy us, so that way we may rebuild, because no matter what, like I said, I don't see a path moving forward that we could continue the same system that we have. And basically, it's either going to
declare war on the fucking central banking system, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and as far as national debt's concerned, dude, if you're not an actual ally, like people that we do, continuous commerce with, eat a dick, son.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shove your bonds fucking in your ass hole. And don't get me wrong, that may turn off a few, but it's only a matter of time before we're not the trade currency anyway. Like you said, it's sinking. And strictly from an economic standpoint, 36 trillion in debt, and other countries signing on to trade in anything other than fucking American dollars is growing by the day. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, if I can, like I say, I hope, like, it's going to get rough. The season definitely going to get rough. I'm sure we're going to come through eventually, but yeah, it's yeah, like I said, I think this is intentional. This is a you know, like we say all the time, if you were trying to destroy the country, would you be doing anything different? You know,
Yeah, and you
like
see, they just pick up where they left off. Like there was Obama, the way it was headed, and then it was supposed to be old Hillary, and we got Trump. You got a little fucking morning in America, and then said again as soon as Biden came in, 94 executive orders to fucking undo the vast majority of progress made, or at least lead to the undoing of that fucking progress. And if you get Trump, you'll get a nice little morning again, and then I'm sure another Democrat will get voted into office, and they'll pick up right where they left off. And each time it moves it a little fucking further to the precipice. And even if there is that little morning again, it's undone, and then the new shit starts rolling right along, dude. So
right.
again, it's kind of hard to stay fucking positive in that situation, but it's like, dude, I guess
Do you
start learning
think
how to garden, raise some chickens.
for real? Do you think there's a like I say, the deep state's got 9, or the intelligence community's got 9 ways from Sunday to forgetting at you. Do you think it's that they've gone rogue, or do you think that basically they are the I guess central nervous system of the actual government, and basically they are the actual ones pulling the strings of these fucking politicians and shit like that? And like I said, like we say all the time, Trump is basically the only person that has the capability to go up against these people, and the will. I mean, the willpower. All right. So basically, after we have that morning in America with Donald Trump, if he doesn't get rid of these intelligence communities, these apparently rogue intelligence communities, do you think there's any chance that we could continue back to a Trump style government, or do you think it's basically just like, okay, there's the end of that? All right, back to business as usual. Anybody else tries to step out of line like that again, I will destroy everything you love. All right, back to work.
Like
You
you
think it's
said,
gonna be something like that?
I think a huge part of it that we spoke on this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, it's all dependent on who Trump surrounds himself with this time. And I know
Right.
everyone keeps going for, got to be like a more low profile VP, whatever. I think it should be obvious, man. Shoot, like the opposite, shoot for the stars. And, you got to pick successors, people that are going to carry on the movement, because it's not
Right.
supposed to be about Trump's schools, man. It's supposed to be about America's. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
And one thing we could say for sure is that Trump is going to get impeached. It doesn't even matter. We don't even have to know what the fuck for. We could just say that that's guaranteed going to happen because of the fact that the Democrats are fucking psychotic, and it doesn't matter. They don't understand law and order as basically being, truth and justice, right? They understand it as basically being a tool, right? They understand it as like I say, it's political lawfare. It's basically political tools that they use. All right. So yeah, Trump's definitely going to get impeached. So definitely his vice president needs to be somebody that is going to put the fear into them just as much as Donald Trump, or at least on a comparable level. So all these. Let's talk about VP real quick, right? So what was it, NBC? They put out the short list of Trump's VP picks.
There's
Right.
6 or whatever.
All right. There's what, like JD Vance,
Old Scott,
Tim,
man.
Tim
Yep.
Scott.
Yep.
Shit, I don't remember. There's like 2 more that I remember, but Marco Rubio. Yeah.
Yep. And what's her name, man? Democrat chick that's now Independence is Tulsi, dude.
Oh, Tulsi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I know
that's the
Bergman. Bergman.
oh yeah,
Doug
Bergman.
Bergman, dude.
Yep. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on those picks? Obviously, like I said, I don't think that those are going to be. I don't think that that's actually Trump's short list. I think that's basically just the speculative short list from NBC.
Yeah, I think I said it before. I think if it's Rubio, it's him working deals with the establishment to get the support, man. You know what I mean? The right wing of the establishment, and it's hard to say, right? But I think you can basically wipe the table of all of them, but JD Vance. And now that it gets closer, you don't know what slander, of course, because the Democrats have come out attacking all the people on that list here recently. If you're paying attention, you know what I
Right.
mean? And so you don't know what's slander and what's not. But you know, you start hearing about JD Vance and his donors being shady, and you know, things that he was, you know, he was anti-Trump previously, and now, you know, he's pro-Trump, and you know what I mean. Like, it's a, you know, you don't know what to make of the situation, basically. So
Right.
you know, it's hard, and you know, but knowing Trump, I mean, he's fucking wild card, right? That's one of the reasons people like him and support him. And he's probably going to go his own route because nobody knew who the fuck Pence was. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so there's that, man. You see the comment here. What's up, my dudes? Happy Friday. Scrolled on me, can't read it.
Yeah, I haven't caught you in a
Haven't
while.
caught-
Glad you two showed me it. She also goes on to say, Tulsi is cool. Trump better not pick Rubio. I think he's just keeping there. I think he's just keeping him there to keep getting his help financially with his connections. Right. I don't know. Obviously, it's like, you know, like I said, I just think that basically anybody that he picks needs to be somebody that's more, like I said, repulsive to the deep state than Donald Trump even, you know. So I don't
Not
think
to mention, I
Rubio's
thought they can't serve out of the same state. I thought that was one of the gigs with DeSantis. Like,
I,
they're both
I,
from Florida. They can't serve on the same ticket. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right. I remember people were saying something like that, but then people were also saying that, oh, that's not the case or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, it does say it in the Constitution, you know. It does say that basically, you know, that the president and vice president can't be from the same states. But again, I don't know of all the different legal mumbo jumbo that has taken place since then, you know. But
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
right. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Like I say, I honestly just think that it needs to be somebody that's anti-establishment, you know. That's not somebody that's going to be working backroom deals and shit like that with the deep state, you know, or with the donor class, or with, you know, any of these fucking, you know, people that are only after destruction, you know.
yeah, and Tulsi is cool. Like, I agree with Heather a lot here, right? Tulsi is cool and shit, and you'd like to believe in her, but again, she's a flip flopper. She's anti Second Amendment. She's pro Second
Right.
Amendment. She's, you know what I mean? Like, she's a Democrat now. She's not a Democrat. She, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
she supported Joe Biden's in the end. You know what I mean? Ultimately, and like I said, Rubio, exactly. I mean, it's if it's Rubio, he's cutting backroom deals to get the support of the right wing of the establishment, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Said
Yeah.
Don Jen.
Hey, that, you're not wrong. That could work, but then again, just the optics on that would, I don't think it'd go over well publicly. You know, like, oh, he's trying to put his son as vice president. But I
Right.
mean, you know,
It's
shit, maybe
fucking
like a
monarchies.
right, maybe like a Tucker Carlson or someone like that.
Oh, like she says there, Byron Donalds, man.
Right,
Yep, I
Byron
think he's
Donalds.
a
Yeah,
fucking beast. Yeah.
absolutely. I'd be totally on board with Byron Donalds. Yeah, yeah, dude's a bad motherfucker. Yep.
It's pretty funny. Earlier, I heard a call in on the show, someone from Florida saying that they hope it's Rubio so they can get someone better in the Senate.
Right. Right. Oh, I forgot. Someone was it Turley?
No, it was actually Chris Plant.
Oh, okay, a different one. But yeah, I think they were saying something about trying to get DeSantis to run for Rubio's seat after
Right.
the end of his term.
I heard that one too. That's pretty good, man. That'd be
Right.
hilarious.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. She says, I think Tulsi would help bring in independence, but yes, she has changed over time. I hope it's genuine though, and I think it is. So in terms of that, like I said, we talk about all the time. This isn't just a Trump support thing. This is basically a movement, and a lot of people that are kind of going over to this side are basically people that have been shown the light, or people that have been awakened as to what's really going on and stuff like that. And so with Tulsi and stuff like that, again, I do believe that her switch could be genuine, but in terms of just how soon it is, from the fact that she was within the party of the Democrats, it's not like just like somebody that I voted Democrat most of my life, and then now I'm switching over to Trump. Like there's a difference. Like if you worked for the Democrats your whole life and then switched to Trump, I'm I'm less inclined to trust you. And like I said, she could be, like I said, I like her. She she speaks real well. She talks some good stuff. She makes some good points and all this and that. But again, like I said, I think it's just too soon. Too soon to actually trust her. Especially with everything going on right now. Everything's so political. Everything's there's very few people that are on the side of truth. Everybody's on the side of a party, or everybody's on the side of this or that. And so yeah, like I said, I think Tulsi might be genuine. I'm pretty sure she probably is, but yeah, I just like I say, I don't see it for BP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she did go against Democrats years ago too, stood her ground. And I'm not saying she doesn't have principles. That just saying that hers don't necessarily align with mine. And
Right.
like you're saying, to me, I don't know. You can't just be, make speeches to, remove people's guns rights, and then all of a sudden be like, no, I'm pro second A.
Right. I'm 2A absolutist, actually.
Fuck up, man.
Right. Like I said, it's just too much of a flip flop thing, and at the same time, I mean, I forgot. I think it was Turley actually too that was basically pointing out, again, Donald Trump is going to get impeached, right? This is basically when it comes to a VP, we're trying to pick somebody that's going to take his spot after the Democrats go with their ridiculous shit, right? And so, in terms of our first female president, basically, it wouldn't be a good look if the first female president got the job by default, And so I think that's something that a lot of people are kind of thinking about too. I guess like I say, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but it basically be a ceremonial kind of a participation trophy, right? You played a good game, like you didn't actually win anything, but you win by default. You didn't actually run a race or anything, but you're in there. Go give him hell, buddy. So, and I think it'd just be a bit unceremonial for the first woman president of the United States. But
much stronger though than anyone else the Democrats have to throw out there female wise, as far as I'm aware. In 2020, right, she was running, and her and Kamala were on the stage. Yeah, she absolutely murdered her, man. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty good, and she's part of the reason that Camel Toes lost all support and dropped out. Put her on blast, completely ruined her shit, and I'm sure she thought that she was going to be able to step right in there, and unfortunately, Democrats only like females and diversity if it agrees with their sensibilities.
Yeah. Let's see. So Heather says, agreed as a female, and I really don't want it to be Kamala. Yeah, absolutely not. Again,
Just
staying on our
yeah, Tim's theory, man, where it's everything's split, and it works out to where there's a tie, and the Senate gets to pick, and the VP, and they give him Camel Toes as a VP. That's a horrifying fucking theory there.
Right, horrifying notion, man. Because
again,
normally VP is not a very important job. I mean, there's not really much use. You go around, you make some speeches. You go fucking visit the border. You go, if there's a tie in the Senate, there's a deciding vote, shit like that.
I was gonna say that's when it's important, man. When you're the deciding vote in the Senate,
right? But I mean, other than that, it's like I said, it's not too big of a job, But in
ceremonial,
right? In terms of this election, it's a bit more important than just a ceremonial pick. It's really more. Like I say, it's very, very likely that they're going to try and do something to get Trump either impeached or something's going to happen. He's going to get hit with a heart attack gun, some fucking shit. They're going to do something. And so it's a bit more important than the last time.
And I actually heard Vivek is in line for HHS, dude. You know what I mean?
That'd be dope.
Take over Mayorkas's position.
Right. Fucking lock that motherfucking border down. Yeah, like I said, I really like Vivek, man. Of course, I haven't really been watching too much of his stuff lately. He's been going around doing a couple podcasts here and there, but I haven't really been paying too much attention. Obviously, he's not in the running anymore. But like I said, I like the dude, man. The dude fucking very, very articulate, very intelligent dude. He makes a lot of good points. He's again, obviously
a lot of motherfucking money. He knows the value
right.
of what dollars can do.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Fucking obviously, not right for president. Definitely not over Donald Trump or any of the other people right now. But yeah, dude, that'd be fucking awesome to have Vivek as a head of Homeland Security, man.
Yeah.
Yep. And what were they talking about? Fucking Kash Patel as the AG.
AG, yeah.
Right.
That really makes some fucking snow melt, dude, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, it's also provided that the election. That's kind of going back to the point that I was bringing up earlier about Donald Trump is basically the thunder that everybody pays attention to when it comes to MAGA, and a lot of these MAGA candidates running for Senate and Congress are really kind of being overlooked, basically, right? It's people have the I guess gusto for Donald Trump, just not so much for the rest of the MAGA people, which is a really detrimental thing when it comes to Donald Trump's presidency. As we saw with this last one, his own fucking party works against him. So basically, he needs as many people, as many underlings as he could get within the Senate and Congress to actually be able to get anything done, right? And so, really, it's going to be important to actually get people out there voting within the local communities to actually start talking and stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot where I was originally going with this, but yeah, it really just like I said, just we need to get more
Scott
attention.
Pressler's on the ground.
Right. Yep. Yeah, just like I say, we'll see how it goes, man. I'm hoping for the best, but ultimately, dude, it's going to be absolute chaos. If Donald Trump,
Apparently, national poll, dude, aggregated, now Trump's 17% ahead nationally. So
yeah,
I mean, dude, yeah, I mean, it's getting to that point, like I said, but they're gonna have a hard time, print or go burn their way out. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I mean, like you were saying, it's gonna have to be something absolutely blatant to where they just disregard votes. Like, nope, Biden's won. You know what I mean?
Actually, these signatures couldn't be verified. We reached out to the people, but we couldn't get a hold of them. Sorry.
I mean, just a total disregard. Like, just put up random numbers with Biden ahead. Just, bam, there you go. Biddens. It's all bribings. Bribings all day. And you remember the speech, man. You remember the bribing, dude. Okay. I mean, this dude told you, regardless if he's a carcass or not, when he first got in, one of the things that they asked him about, was he worried about, Trump trying to get back into office or running? And what did he say? We're going to do everything we possibly can constitutionally to prevent that from happening. And, you know what I mean? In this mumbling, nasally way, and then motored off. I mean, the dude lets you know, just like he did with the border, with the, rush the border and, seeking asylum. Everybody deserves to apply for asylums. And I mean, the random, little phrases and speeches. And, the Democrats aren't as intelligent as people give them credit for, because they literally let the beans spill on a regular basis. It's just they don't give a fuck. They just stick with the plan and run with it. Like, you didn't really hear that. Yours is crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't believe your eyes and ears. That didn't happen. Glad it did, though.
Evil.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, dude, that's the only way I could think to describe it, dude. Like, there's no way that you could be that actually dumb and make it this far in life. These people got to have some sort of intelligence, but yet all the stuff that they say, all of their logic and reason is dumb, like makes zero fucking sense at all, other than the fact that it's political games and shit like that.
Don't be saying
But
that, dude.
yeah,
Fucking Pride Month.
right. Yeah, no, these people are just plain evil. They're bad people. You're a bad guy, you know that.
Dickhead.
But all right, let's go ahead and shift gears real quick. Talk about old Hunter's Biden. right? So as you guys know, that laptop, that was absolutely Russian disinformation, right? Definitely nothing to see here. I've 50 some intelligence officers have said that this has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, right?
51.
So obviously it wasn't Russian. 51, right? Obviously it wasn't Russian disinformation, seeing as it is now being presented as evidence in a trial for Hunter Biden, right? It's obviously not the trial that we're hoping for, right? It's obviously not the international influence peddling, any of the stuff relating to his business relations involving his dad, who is the current sitting president of the United States. Any of those transactions that there are actual receipts to on his computer pertaining to the time when Joe Biden was vice president under the Obama administration. We'd like to see some of those being brought forth for trial. The quid pro quo, all that type of stuff. We'd like to see some of that brought forward to a trial.
Son of a bitch.
Right. Son of a bitch. He was fired same day. And we sent him $1 billion. But obviously that's wishful thinking. Instead, like we got a gun charge, right? Because everybody remembers Hunter Biden was smoking mad crack. Like a lot, man. That dude was partying, bro. And but yeah, that dude, he was doing it, right? And he documented all of it for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess it's a narcissistic fucking personality trait, some shit like that. He just wanted to go relive old glory days, or I don't know. But he documented it.
Smoking crack and jerking off, man.
Yeah, he even documented
fucking butt cheeks and fucking assholes and all that, dude.
Yeah, he even documented conversations that he had, like pertaining to business dealings with his father, pertaining to family issues, talking to his brother's widow, whom he was sleeping with, just all kinds of
He got addicted to crack,
right. Who he also got addicted to crack, and just all kinds of stuff, right. Yeah, they're only going after Hunter Biden for the most stupid charge, not anything related to the
big guy.
Right. That's the important
big guy.
Right. That's the important thing. Is the big guy. Right. Basically, all this is doing is
gonna pardon Hunter. No.
Right. Basically, all that this is doing is it's creating sympathy points, I guess, in a way for the Joe Biden base. Right. Obviously, all of the rest of us, think that this is absolute bullshit. Right. But a lot of the bleeding heart liberal Joe Biden base. Right. They're he's just a loving father who had to deal with the son who's going through drug addiction. I feel for him.
Freeze
And
Hunter Biden.
if you actually look at the jury, like if you actually look at the I guess that I don't know why they always play a game of fucking guess who when it comes to jury. Obviously they can't put out the actual names of the members of the jury, so they basically say like a guy who has a beard and has a he gets his news from so-and-so channel, but he's also got a son who is addicted to cocaine. And then we have juror number 2, who actually her brother is a former addict, right? Like, that's basically the entire jury pool for this case.
They got 10 Delaware leftists and 2 Secret Service agents.
Right.
That's real shit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that's again. That's why they don't. That's why Joe Biden's not going to have to fucking pardon Hunter Biden. He's like, no, I'm not going to have to pardon him. I already paid off the jury. It's fine.
Yeah,
we've already sent down people to talk to the families of all the jury members. Don't worry, everything's fine.
And anyone doubts that, man. I mean, go look it up. They 2 ex-Secret Service are fucking serving on the jury, and of course, old Alice Cooper Biden's keep showing up in the courtroom with her Secret Service, and Ashley's in there with her Secret Service, and
right.
There's not
staring down the jury.
Buddy's deals going down or nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously, like I said, it's going down. It's bringing him up sympathy votes with his liberal base, right? Not necessarily with the criminal class, right? Or the minority class, right? A lot of people have been charged with gun fucking charges. A lot of people have been charged with a lot of the, crack stuff that was written in Joe Biden's 1994 fucking crime bill, right? Right, was it the 94 crime bill with the you get
Mhm.
one piece of yeah. A lot of people have been charged with that type of shit, who are basically people that would normally vote for the Democratic Party, right? And so basically to see Joe Biden's son getting obvious, very, very blatantly obvious to anybody with eyeballs, preferential treatment in these same laws that Joe Biden himself wrote, that's not playing too well with some of his base. I actually got a video of someone basically saying that I was charged with fucking gun charges in Delaware and I didn't get no fucking leniency like this, but yeah, it's a mixed message, right? And people were trying to say that Donald Trump was getting support from the black community because now he's got a mugshot and he's got a criminal record and shit like that. And people were trying to say like, oh no, that's racism, that's racism and shit like that. But it's reality, right? It's real.
Right.
Joe, they're seeing a person become a victim of the system through what is obviously political persecution, and they're obviously feeling relatable, right? They obviously feel like they could go through that. They've been through all that stuff. Obviously, the Democrat milieu is that you are a victim, right? Nothing is your fault. All those gang fucking violence charges, all those gun charges, all the drug charges you have, it's not your fault. It's a system oppressing you. So when they see a system,
Socioeconomics.
right? So that's the shit that they've been force fed down. It's not you. It's the environment that you were raised up in, and all this of that. It's the MAGA Republicans that don't want to fund your fucking rehab facilities and schools and what the fuck ever,
Right. White supremacy overpasses.
Right. They just want to keep you on the plantations. The people are starting to wake up and actually see the actual reality. Right. So it's really anybody's game. Obviously we're seeing the majority of support swinging toward Donald Trump and away from Biden, but it's a major shift. Things are fucking going haywire any which direction. Apparently, if you vote for Donald Trump, you could black again.
How does that make you feel? Dude? You're a Democrat and you're voting for this dude, and this is the guy that quadrupled the punishment for fucking crack versus powdered cocaine. And his son blatantly flaunts fucking videos of smoking crack with hookers and shit, and the motherfuckers. Oh, we're gonna get him on this minor's gun charge.
Right.
You know what I mean? And no one's bringing up the fact that they keep like, oh well, he bought this gun, and lied in the application, yada yada. Dude, the chick went and dumped it in a fucking in a trash fucking dumpster outside of a school. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, like fuck. Drop the hammer, son.
Yeah.
Really. And of course, the liberty side, you want to fucking play the old, nobody should be charged, no infringement, you know what I mean? Yada yada. But again, it's beyond that point, dude.
Right. We're in full on political lawfare at this moment,
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it'll be a hung jury or fucking, a mistrial. Some shit's gonna happen right now.
Right.
Hair on tea.
Yep. It really is kind of funny watching all of the lefties that have fought for fucking, gun infringement for years, starting to come out and support it. Like, no, it's okay if you smoke a little crack. Like he didn't smoke crack that day. So it's actually totally fine, right? He actually wasn't lying on the form that we fucking made sure that those types of questions were put on. Right.
The fact that his brother's wife's in there, like he smoked crack every 15 minutes, man. That's why I got addicted.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's complete fucking hypocrisy. That's how you know, right? The guns, that's their fucking big thing. That's shit. If they could fucking ban guns, they don't give a fuck about anything else, right? They think that's gonna solve all of their problems.
Right, obviously. But beyond this, it proves a full-on conspiracy, man. Again, to go back to the 51 intelligence agents and yada yada, and then you had Joe Bribens across the fucking, TV in the inner zones during debates. This is all fake. 51 intelligence agents. This is Russian disinformation. Your CNNs, MSNBCs, and then fucking, now you got a picture of, I think it was the New York Times or something, or the Post. where it's a picture of the drawn, sketch from the courtroom where it's Hunter.
Right.
And on the screen beside him is himself nude and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the FBI is now using the fucking shit for, as evidence that they spent, tons of time and money to convince you wasn't real.
Right. Something like this.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what this he's
51.
accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation at a smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd asked it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's the last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
Completely no evidence whatsoever. Completely unfounded. Russian disinformation. Arrest Rudy Giuliani.
The big guy, the big lion
that's
sack
the
of
gist.
shit.
All right. We also got this slice of Goldman. Of course, I'm talking about Dan Goldman. Everybody's fucking favorite absolute nut job lefty
The
in
dumbest
Congress.
guy in Congress, man. Not person.
Right.
because,
Dumbest
AOC takes that
motherfucker out
away.
there. Right. Yeah. But complete fucking moron. Right. Let's go ahead and listen to his explanation about how master hacker Rudy Giuliani could have possibly manipulated and made digital images. Obviously, he doesn't go that
Was he
into
like
it.
90?
Right. Probably could barely work a fucking roto fucking phone and shit,
Right.
Like, you really expect him to fucking digitally fucking doctor receipts and fucking videos and video after video after video of Hunter Biden naked doing crack with hookers and shit. Yeah, this slice of gold right here is some good shit.
You have no idea. You know hard drives can be manipulated.
Are you suggesting the New York Post participating in a conspiracy to construct the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop?
No, sir. The problem is that hard drives can be manipulated by Rudy Giuliani or Russia.
But what's the evidence that happened?
Well, there is actual evidence of it, but the point is
There's
not
no
the
evidence
same
for
thing.
it, so you're engaged in a conspiracy.
I'm glad you have no
Russia's
idea.
gonna
You hard
get
drives
you.
can be manipulated.
Right. But there is evidence. I got evidence. I got to show you though.
That
I
guy
know what it
looks like a
means.
twat.
I got
Who
to
the
tell
fuck
you
votes
though.
for these people, dude? Look at that guy.
Right.
I mean, who the fuck
Right.
looks at that guy, listens
For
to
real.
him talk, and thinks like, I'm voting for that douche? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who was running against this guy that you thought that this was the better option? You know what I mean? The fuck?
Right. Right. He ran unopposed actually. His political opponent actually had gotten arrested, just a couple of weeks beforehand. He was the criminal, so he's a convicted felon now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, ties to Russia. Deep ties.
right, deep. They go deep. I think he might have taken a computer course with Rudy Giuliani at one point too. I'm not sure.
Giuliani.
Dangerous guy though.
That's good stuff.
And we
Dude,
got
that guy is such a fucking moron, man. Douchebag too, dude.
Right.
Insufferable. Absolutely entitled attitude, nose in the air type of. You just want to poke him in the Adam's apple.
Right. He's so sure of himself with all the retarded shit that he says. It's fucking funny, man. Yeah, it really is kind of like that's. I wonder if he actually believes his own shit or if he's just a confident liar. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
really...
I mean, I think they believe their own shit to an extent. I think that they absolutely know that Trump's not a Nazi, he's not racist, none of that kind of shit. That's just to fire it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the other stuff, like we got to destroy democracy to protect it. I believe that in their minds they're doing the right thing, dude. Because they entitlement, right? It's fucking we're the ones that are supposed to be in charge because it's our democracies.
Right. Yeah. Like, and we've been, we're the ones that got the youth vote. We're the ones that got the crowds on our side, right? All these other fucking white trash fucking hillbillies and shit like that. Those people aren't supposed to be running the country. We're the people running the country. We're the American culture. We're American societies.
That's why they keep saying democracy, because Democrats tend to win the popular vote, because basically that's the two coasts deciding the popular vote. You know what I mean? That's where the mass population is condensed, California and fucking New York. You know what I mean? And that's why they want to do away with the Electoral College so bad.
Right. And that's the entire reason for the Electoral College, because if there wasn't the Electoral College, every single other state in the entire fucking nation would be absolutely ignored, because your vote doesn't matter, because the entire election is decided by California and New York.
You'd be taxed to death. Taxation with absolutely no representation, unless you're one of those guys that are like, I'm getting Section 8 housings and fucking cash vouchers and
I'm gonna live in the box and eat the bugs.
Yep.
I'm getting a box.
Get free bus pass,
bugs,
man.
guys. Come up, vote blue no matter who. Right?
Electric buses are cool, man.
Let's see. I got this this video that you sent me from Slay News. It says, remember when Democrats, obedient leftist shills, and their allies in the corporate media tried to convince the American people that the Hunter Biden laptop was, quote, Russian disinformation. Right? Speaking of insufferable.
Clip, man. This is a great clip that Slay put out here, but the full deal is like fucking 40 minutes long.
God damn. Yeah,
right.
I mean, obviously, the whole Mockingbird media, that it's why they're able to make those videos of just fucking screen after screen after screen of just people repeating verbatim the exact same shit.
Our democracy.
Right. It's the Mockingbird media, man. It's fucking absolutely fucking propaganda at its finest.
You said it right, Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Full on, dude. Why do you think your grandparents called it programmings?
Right.
More than 50 former intelligence officials signed on to a letter yesterday saying that the New York Post story about Hunter Biden's emails has, quote, all of the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation campaigns.
And to me, this is just classic textbook Soviet Russian tradecraft at work.
Rudy Giuliani was not fed passively Russian disinformation. He ordered it off the menu. He demanded it be brought to him.
The letter's signatories span 4 administrations, right, including the current.
Russian Timu. You just ordered it right off the menu. I need some disinformation. Pretty sure he got the plug from Hillary, but still ordered it right off the menu.
Yep, and Heather, every American needs to know this by now. And you think they would, but unfortunately, you still, especially go cruise the leftist fucking exosphere, and you'll see that it's still full on denial, man.
Right. It's I don't know. It's really kind of just crazy to see the people that are actually political on the left, because a lot of the Democrat voters, they're really just kind of apolitical people that just, they happen to hear like, oh, Donald Trump's a Nazi. Okay, I'll make sure I don't vote for that guy. Like, and then they just get on with their crack smoking or their fucking whatever the fuck they're doing. I remember, and the only reason I know this is because I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy. I didn't give 2 fucking shits. I was busy fucking getting high, buddy. I was having a good time. I was Hunter Biden in it, for some time. I didn't give 2 shits about any of that shit. But if you would have given me a fucking paper and said, here, can you sign this petition or whatever? Fuck it, whatever. That's really how a lot of the Democrat voters actually think. So if they're not actually seeing any of this, it's just because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, but still, the cognitive dissonance kicks in, and they come up with wild explanations for this type of shit. Like, just because the FBI is using the laptop for evidence doesn't mean the stuff that you've seen was real. There's a lot of the stuff's AI. There's so many different fucking, absolute what theories.
Right. And those are the people out of these folks. Those are the people that blow my fucking mind. Like I said, I could understand the people that are just apolitical and just get handed, here, you want to register to vote? Here, vote. Donald Trump's a Nazi, and just those people that just believe that just because they're completely ignorant, But the people that actually sit there and try and defend all of this stuff. The people that like the fucking the what was that dude's name that Lance from the Surfs on Tim Cass basically like, oh no, you can't smoke meth while you're pregnant and stuff. You'd be killing the baby. Like, but you just said that you support abortion up to 9 months. What's the
Right.
These people are fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
And those are the people that brainwash.
Heather, I say the same shit. Politics affects everything. You may not take an interest in politics, but it takes an interest in you. And we see, especially like places, New York, a prime example, like we were just speaking on, fools that think that they should decide every election. Over there, they dictate what size pop you can get at the fucking convenience store. They want to control every facet of your fucking life, man.
Fucking beyond authoritarianism. This is totalitarianism.
Right. Completely agreed.
Yep. Every aspect of your life.
And include former CIA directors John Brennan, Michael Hayden, and Leon Panetta.
So here you have a willing target, and the Russians who are very sophisticated about how to exploit a willing target. And to me, that's what's at work here.
So this looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This sounds like Russian intelligence.
That their collective national security experience makes them, quote, deeply suspicious that the Russian government played a significant role in this case and suggests that Russia is trying to influence how Americans vote in this election.
Do you think stuff like that could just have been planted in there and be completely fake?
I do.
Every intelligence professional I've been talking to, Mika, says this is a Russian intelligence disinformation campaign.
And then they wonder why Russia says, well, America considers us their enemy.
Former intelligence officials signed on.
You wonder why, Russia says, oh, America considers us their enemy. Fuck it. They're our enemy now,
Yeah.
Because we sit there everything's Russian disinformation,
Yeah, we got, a White House and a media. That just throw them under the bus for everything. They're the blame. They're the white people of the world, dude. Everything's
needs a boogeyman,
Yeah. We've always been at war with Eurasia. And, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Especially you actually, like Heather just said about getting educated. If you look back all the way up until, Obama kept, dicking him over, and not just him. There was, Bush before him that did the same shit, and even Clinton to an extent. But Russia was pretty much pro-America. Like they wanted to be economic trade partners, and supposedly Putin even approached Clinton at the end of his fucking presidential term of join the UN, and they were like, yeah, we'll get back to you, and then apparently it was an immediate flip-flop of no, we're not even going to discuss it, basically. It's definitely just manufactured, like you said. Gotta have that fucking enemy to rile around. Yep. To excuse shit. That's what, even with like the Trump shit, how we're like, oh yeah, Trump, he started winding down the troops, and Biden ultimately fucked with it, but pulling out of Afghanistan was Trump's deal. But they've turned around and spent more, like double what we were spending in Afghanistan now, just in Ukraine. That's not even including the shit that was just sent to Israel and Japan and Taiwan, and you know what I'm saying?
Right. And more to come.
Yeah. Definitely trying to escalate the situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, man. I think they're trying to, like I said, they're trying to give Trump an impossible situation. You know what I mean?
But ultimately you're fucking with the most nuclear armed, country on the planet, trying to push them into provocation. And to the point we've seen, supposedly under Biden's fucking approval, they're firing our weapons into mainland fucking Russia. Well, which up until this point, which is weird as fuck anyway, that they had some kind of restrictions to not use our weapons to do so. And, but then this is the reason for Russia, like, we're declaring you enemies. This is the last fucking time, dude.
We ain't play with your ass no more, America.
Right.
Fuck you, NATO.
Yeah. So it's not even, taking over an impossible situation. It's like, dude, risking to fucking kill everyone to get a wartime president reelected, man. Fuck.
Oh yeah. Like I said, they don't care. This is an intentional destruction. Yeah, they already have their their board seats already, in these foreign executive businesses and shit like that already lined up, ready to go. They already got book deals in fucking foreign nations already lined up and ready to go. Like I said, I think they fucking the actual people up at the top are actually paid to do this. I think Joe Biden is actually fucking paid, and owes a debt to fucking China or Ukraine or whoever the fuck, and it's basically you need to weaken
Seems
the
like
United States.
BlackRock's going to make out the most, man, out of the situation, dude. I mean, at least as far as the Ukraine situation's going, like they're buying up farmland and they're like signing on to fund like loans for, of course, we're going to help rebuild, and if anyone out there has ever read what is it, Diaries of an Economic Hitman, explains it in detail how that's the way to entrap a country for fucking generations. We're going to give you a loan and then they're going to default. It's some impossible shit. And then, okay, well, we're going to take over your resources for a while just until, we catch back up the situation. And, then you drain the joint, man. Just like we've done for the Middle East since the fucking 60s.
Right. Yeah, that's shit. It would seem what's going on, man. Like I said, if you were trying to destroy the nation and fucking destroy everything, I don't see what the fuck you would do different.
That's the one, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because that's what keeps you strong ultimately is economics, regardless. Economics and the ability to defend that economy, right? And up until this point, neither of those have been an issue. And we haven't won anything in fucking decades as far as militarily, regardless of what they like to tell you. And economically, 36 trillion and counting every 100 days at this point. They're borrowing or spending $1 trillion, and no stop in sight. Actually, predicted to blow out the deficit, if you can call it that. At this point, you'd think it'd already be blown out, but that's the terminology they're using. 2030, they're predicting 50 trillion. And why do people want to use that, especially when you're sanctioning people and stealing assets, right? Like Russia right now. Ultimately, they're not in a confrontation with us, but we've decided like all the bonds, their assets that they've used to purchase fucking US bonds with, like we don't owe you. Like I was just saying, ultimately you could do with anything that's not an allied debt. They just did that to Russia through sanctions. So like why the fuck would you even want to put your money in that peril? Because all it takes is for a president to come in and go, well, that's the enemies. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of the rest of the world is seeing that. And I think, that's what they've.
That's why it's headed, man. That's why it's headed that way.
Yeah.
And that's what's propped us up. I mean, people think
really
that,
we did it to ourselves,
Yeah. And it's backed up by a gun, of course. But ultimately, that's what's propped us up is just being the trade currency. And that's changing real fucking fast by our own actions.
Yeah. Shit. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about this article, which I mean, we've already kind of been talking about it a bit, but Kremlin issues stark U.S. statement as relations hit a new low. Right? Kremlin hit a new low over Ukraine's use of American-supplied weapons on Russian territory. Russian President Vladimir Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov called the United States in quote an enemy reportedly for the first time during a press briefing on Tuesday. Again, Stavo, an independent Russian investigative site, said that neither Peskov nor the Russian president has ever called the U.S. or other countries the Kremlin considers to be unfriendly as enemies of Russia. They said, quote, we are now an enemy country for them, just as they are for us, Peskov said. Peskov told reporters when commenting on claims made by the former American intelligence officer Scott Ritter that he was barred from traveling to Russia and had his passport confiscated by border officials. Ritter, a former United Nations Special Commission's weapons inspector, U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer, and convicted sex offender, it's quite a resume, told the Russian state-run news agency TASS on Tuesday that he was from work to Istanbul. He said he planned to travel to Russia to attend the St. Petersburg International. Yeah, a lot of this stuff's just filler, but basically we got the gist of it. Right? It was basically that the Russian press secretary has basically come out and said we are now an enemy country. You know, that they've declared us the enemy, right? So we'll see how it goes, man. This could be the start of World War III. I mean, obviously, it just could be the codification and declaration of World War III, possibly. I don't know. I mean, we don't actually declare wars anymore. We don't actually, think it out in Congress. We don't actually debate the issue of sending people off to go die. We just do it on a whim. We do it as soon as something happens, right? Because we need to make sure that it's things move faster nowadays. We need to make sure that we can retaliate at a moment's notice. So that's why we have delegated all war powers away from Congress, which is where they constitutionally supposed to lie, and we just delegated them out to unelected officials. All right, and that's where we're at.
If you want to see
what's
true evil,
your thoughts
man,
on Russia?
I think that if you want to see true evil, you look at U.S. politicians that gloat over mass death. And, Biden was just asked about this recently. And he's like, basically trying to give you the line, of course, Ukraine's winning. But then he's like, you know how many Russians have died? 300,000 without any American troops on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came, we saw, he died, like fucking, or we, to us, we think, the cost was worth it. You know what I mean? It's one of those moments over again. Disgusting, like you were saying earlier, no other way to put it. Evil, fucking absolute demons, right? As usual, we're always mixed up in fucking conflicts that ultimately have nothing to do with us. Ukraine being the most corrupt fucking country in Europe up until now, all of a sudden, now it's a bastion of democracy where the president that is termed out after 2 terms is now serving in his 3rd, right? And
until the war is won.
Right. Absolute laundromat. You have the EU with plans in place, France at the helm to put fucking troops on the ground. And I think it's an absolute provocation for whatever reason. They want not only regime change, but I believe that they want to like break Russia up. Like they want more Ukraines. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like the Great Resets, whatever you want to call it, Agenda 2030, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're pushing the plan to do serious, changes socially, culturally, structurally, so on and so forth, man.
Yeah. So do you think? Well, I mean, obviously, like you say, with in terms of the globalist agenda and stuff like that, and when it comes to how the populist movements around the world are going right now, it's seeming like that isn't looking like it's going to end up panning out the way that it was written. You know what I mean? So do you think that in order for them to be able to continue their agenda, that they basically need to get these nations that aren't in line with the United Nations, World Economic Forums, all these other globalist organizations and stuff like that? Do you think basically that's a lot what this is for? Do you think we're actively trying to attack Russia in order to basically I mean, obviously, like I say, they're going to be an obstacle in the way of the globalist world agenda,
Yeah.
Do you think this plays into that?
I do, man. And you hate to bring up old shit that people either won't know what you're talking about, or they'll be like, again, when it's rolled out in front of you. Back when Clinton was in office, right? You had a colonel come out and saying that it was 7 nations that were going to be taken down, basically, and it was all ones that didn't have central banking ties, and it was like Iran and Iraq, and basically places we've already hit out. Venezuela killed them with sanctions, shit like that. But since that time span, Russia's built their own central bank. And again, doesn't deal directly with the IMF, and has pulled themselves away from the American dollar. So they're an obvious target as well. You know what I mean? It's basically the countries that you don't have economic control over.
Right. Yep. It's all about global hegemonies.
Yeah. But, you were saying, they need to. I was going to say just the short breaks. they know that those are going to happen. They're anomalies or they're black swans or what have you, right? And they have contingency plans. And that's why I was saying earlier about they just pick up where they left off. I mean, that's part of that whole, paradigm there. Again, whether it's global or national, because even on the national stage, they're moving you towards the globalist fucking agenda. So, I mean,
Right.
there's contingencies, and it's there through, books, the Klaus Schwab Great Reset, from, Saul Alinsky to, the UN Charter. All this shit, again, is like I said earlier, again, it's been laid out. These fools have spilled the beans. It's just whether you pay attention to it and believe it or not. It's totally on huge.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that I mean, like populist movements and stuff like that can I guess be successful long term?
It's hard to say, man, because even on a regular fucking basis, without different pressures of being so polarized, it tends to go back and forth. I mean, you see there's a Republican president, then a Democrat president, then a Republican president. I mean, it's lined up like that since, I've been alive, man. You know what I mean? The only time I can think differently was the one term of Bush Sr. after fucking Reagan. Other than that, it's been a complete rotation. So,
Right.
there's a good possibility that it won't. I mean, people obviously like to vote for their own fucking demise for whatever reason.
Right.
And again, you always got a disclaimer. I don't believe in the Republican Party. That it's fucking 80% spineless cuck fucks. The few that ride like MAGA or even just America First at minimum are slim.
Right. Yeah, like I say, it's a small population within government, but obviously the most vocal on our side. They're the most active. They're the only people that are technically really active on our side that are actually working towards our goals and our priorities and stuff like that. I mean, there's people that are technically working on the Republican side, but they're not working for the people. They're working for their own agendas, or they're working for the establishment, or they're working for the Democrats
War
in some
Machine,
cases.
man. Yeah, and
Right.
your old Crenshaw's. He's working for a fatter pocket and the War Machine. Dual loyalties.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And so, obviously, if we keep going down that road, it's shit, might as well say bye-bye to our country. Hello, globalism. You live in the pod and eat the bugs. But
global communism.
All right. Good times, everybody.
Yep, that's the Bonhino with a twist, dude. Like, Republicans sure as fuck aren't the answer to your problems, but leftism is the cause of fucking all of them, Taylor.
Right.
Really, and that even includes rhino fucking spending fucking sprees. Because ultimately, again, they're rhinos.
Yeah.
It's leftism, man.
Like we said, I mean, it's something we've been pointing out on the show for years is the problem with progressivism and conservatism as two opposing political parties. Is basically progressivism is going to try and pull the line, and then conservatism is going to we'll hold it right here. We'll hold it right here. Nothing. Well, while we're on board, ain't nothing going to change. We ain't stealing no new laws. We ain't expanding this and doing that. And then as soon as they get out of power, then the progressives are going to come in and they're going to expand government, and they're going to make all these different fucking changes that end up having detrimental issues, or that end up detrimenting the country in one way or another. And then the conservatives are going to get okay. Now we're going to hold the line right here. We're holding it right here, right? So basically, that system it's not sustainable. It's not going to be able to we're not going to be able to get back to where we need to get by conserving where we're at right now. So basically we need to implement actual changes in order to fix the country. We can't just we're going to make sure that we stop them from destroying the country any further until they get back in office, and then we'll hold the line there. So like I say, it's in terms of conserving what we have is shit. What we have isn't worth conserving at this point. I don't want to conserve this type of fucking system that we have right now. Fuck that. I want to abolish the type of fucking system we have right now and actually do it the proper way, the way that it was intended to be done. And that's not going to happen unless we stop trying to conserve and we start trying to right the ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. Heather said, yeah, conservative hasn't been holding the line very well at all. We've already given up way too much. And, conservatives have held the line, which has been, the line of moving the fucking window to the left.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's really no conservatives, and the ones that are present are completely outvoted and blacklisted by media. Especially like if they try to make a run for a larger office. I mean, like they'll get 30 seconds of airtime to the establishment picks 11 minutes or whatever. We've seen it fucking repeatedly. And if you go back even to like Ron Paul, it was a similar situation as Trump. The dude was breaking attendance records, consistently beating, his opponents as far as polling were concerned. And mainstream news wouldn't even say his name. Like they would mention, the first and the second person, like, or I'm sorry, the first and the third. And it's like, well, who came in second? And it was Ron Paul all the time. And for whatever reason, you know they throw their hat behind what's supposed to be conservative, but they're establishment shills like old mittens.
Right. Yeah. It's just because, like I say, it's not like it's actually who you want to vote for anyway. It's not like you get to vote for who you actually agree with policy wise. All those stuff up until Donald Trump has basically been planned in advance. All the candidates, all the winners, all the losers have been picked out in advance, right? The deep state, the establishment has already known who they want their next person to be, and it doesn't matter if they're a Democrat or a Republican. That's why they try to keep the illusion of like, oh well, we're gonna have 8 years of a Republican, and then we're gonna have 8 years of a Democrat, and then we're gonna switch back to Republican, and then we're gonna switch back to Democrat, because it really doesn't matter. It's all going in the same direction. It's all going. I like to say all the time, the Republicans are over here screaming about, oh, the left's trying to take our guns away. They're trying to take our guns away. And the left is over here screaming about, oh, they're trying to take away women's abortions and shit like that. Well, guess what? You guys are both fucking wrong. They're both getting taken away. Like they're going to infringe on everybody's fucking rights, because that's literally what the fucking game is. That's what they do, right? Government is a self-serving machine at this point, and its only purpose is to increase its own power, right? So, yeah, fucking surprised you guys are actually both losing all your fucking rights.
Yeah, and that's why I believe Trump was the anomaly, because he had billions already, and came in and didn't have to get in with the big donors and shit. He was like, I'll throw $1 billion into my own shit. Watch this. You know what I mean? And that's where it came from, and that's rare, except for like with what the hell was his name, man? Dude that ran ex governor of New York, ran for president, man. But anyway, hilarious dude, spent like $800 million for absolutely nothing. Again, like a 1%er as far as the polls are concerned, But good shit. And that's why he's the anomaly, and that's why they fucking hate him.
And then now we're seeing that shit, dude, fucking he doesn't even need the fucking donor class. Fucking grassroots, he could make $200 million in a week.
But even donor classes are flipping. I mean, you've seen some big names, saying they're going to throw 100 million out. Just what was it last night? He raised 12 million at at a dinner with a bunch of tech oligarchs, dude. You know what I mean? Like you're talking Silicon Valley, and walked out of the room with 12 million.
Yep, the dude's a magnet, man. The dude fucking he's the Trump. He's the Don.
Because at this point, you see all the suffering, like as far as businesses shutting down. I mean, even iconic joints like Red Lobster, right, filing for fucking bankruptcy and shit. And regardless if they tell you, no, the Bidenomics is working great, but Trump's pro-business, and again, that's what it boils down to. That's why we always say movement, because it's about voting for the persons whose self-interests align more with yours, and pro-business, cash, capitalism. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. The economics, period.
Yeah. I mean, because while they're telling you this, if you actually look shit up, the tech industry has been some of the hardest hit since Biden took office. Tens of thousands of layoffs, and we're not just talking X here.
Yeah. I mean, shit, Silicon Valley Bank fucking collapsed, man. Like,
right.
A lot of people lost money on that. Like, yeah. Fucking every fucking industry's taken a fucking hit since Joe Biden, took office. And I think that's something that's resonating with a lot of these, bigger corporate, Silicon Valley style donors that have traditionally been, pro-Democrat. I think
And
they're
they see
basically
how
just seeing,
destructive.
right. It's
Yeah,
unsustainable.
Yeah, and especially Silicon Valley is definitely seeing it on a smaller scale. You know what I mean? Now California's running with like a $27.6 billion deficit after claiming that they had a surplus, which was just COVID's money, of course.
Right. COVID money and extra gas taxes.
Right. Right. And they see this shit. I don't know if you've seen Newsom's new one of his new proposals there is to cut spending for fucking prisons and police to fight climate change, but to also try to offset the fucking, the deficit. Like, dude, that place is so bad again. Walgreens shutting down, like Targets, all this shit. And
Right.
they're gonna keep going with it. And that's why these fools are finally saying, fuck, this isn't pro-business.
But I read somewhere that those places are actually shutting down because of racism.
Right.
Because they don't want to serve the Blix's community.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are fucking racist too.
Right. So the mayonnaise companies, don't even get me started on them.
Right.
Yep. Fucking madness, man. Pure madness.
Yeah. Damn good show.
All right. Yeah, real quick, end up with you all knew it was gonna happen eventually. All right, we were just waiting for. Yep, actually, it looks like it's not going now. But anyway, there was a Palestine protest that ended up clashing with the Pride people. Right, you all knew that it was going to come. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't pull up the videos right now, but it started out basically during the daytime with basically the pro-Palestine protesters basically blockading the Pride parade. Right, and they basically took up the same fucking street. If you actually look at the video, I'm sure you guys have seen it already. It's been going all over the place this whole past week. But yeah, you can't tell who the fuck is who. Everybody's all fucking wearing rainbows and shit like that. Like it's ridiculous. It's the analogy that the left is eventually going to eat itself. That cancel culture doesn't have a choice but to eventually eat itself. It's on full display. It's on full display. Like I said, we've all just been waiting. I hope these fucking free Palestine protests continue into the month of June, because that is going to be an awkward fucking it's going to be an awkward coming together, right? And it is, man. It is. What's your thoughts on that real quick?
Like you said, it's the left eating itself. Predictable. It's what always happens. It's that's communism, Dad. 101 right there for you, Dad. You know what I mean? Breaking it down in real time.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time. This has been predicted by so many people. That's pretty easy to deduce what's cracking, man.
Right.
Gays for Palestinians. Go over there and get your head cut off. These people's religious beliefs, cultural beliefs are the exact opposite of the American left. I mean, even France, right, who people assume is pretty left, they've even, referred to, of the American left as a cancer. I mean, it's that bad. And for these people, like as we were talking about earlier, you see, videos like on TikTok and shit with these guys that are, all twacked out and wearing makeup, talking about, I'd be safer in Palestine. The hilarity would ensue. I would love to see that happen, and I'd be more than happy to, chip in my fair share to get at least one of them over there. Let's test that fucking theory real quick.
All right, send you on the plane with the GoPro real quick. See how that ends up turning out for you when you land.
Yeah, the stories you get to read everywhere. These couples that they hitchhiked across the Middle East to prove that Islam's peaceful and it's not about people, and and then they're dead. They're
beheaded.
Their heads were cut off.
Right, and you did. Yep. Yeah, these, like shit, you almost want to fucking root for the Free Palestine people at that point. Like from sea to shining sea, fucking, I don't know, Sharia law shall cleanse thee. You fucking psycho. Yeah.
Just not here.
Right. Right.
Damn it.
Yep. Yeah.
We
Yeah, it's gonna, like I said, they're gonna come in for a rude awakening. A lot of these lefty liberal, LGBTQ pride fucking people and shit like that. I mean, as we're seeing the LGBTQ pride fucking stuff, at least thus far for the month of June, has been mild at best. It's dying out.
Yeah, you listen to Turley, man. It's fucking. Well, I guess a bunch of events have been canceled, and
Yep.
quite a few states and cities this year, which is good to see. There's some businesses backpedaling, not doing their thing, like Target's cut way back on it or whatever. But then you got other places like Walmart that are jumping in full tilt, and of course they all have their moral fucking superior grandstanding on the inner zones where they change their fucking profiles to some type of rainbow shit. But the hilarious part, of course, is you don't see that on the Middle Eastern pages.
Right.
And, people have put that out there, the screenshots, and someone asked, was it BMW about it? And they put out, some pile of fucking rhetoric drivel and about, equalities and,
Right.
the normal shit.
Talking point.
But they also adjust their ads to the cultural whoop-de-whoop where they're even telling you that shit will not fly there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But good shit. But I have seen the Walmart next to my house. I only saw one small pride display in there, but for whatever reason, it was it wasn't in the kids section, but it was basically adjacent. It was in the walkway, to heading to the kids station, to the kids area. But
where was it at?
So there's like the back corner
store.
Oh, at the Walmart on First and Wetmore. Yeah, but like I said, that's all all that I've seen so far. Hey, what up?
The comment. Did you notice all the companies fucking? Did you notice all the companies not making pro LGBTQ dinosaur sign apostrophes this year? The quarter in covered it, and it makes me so happy. I was tired of this shit being shoved in our faces every motherfucking year, right? And
they ain't trying to go the way of Bud Light, man.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking it's yeah. We're starting to see the tide turn, man. At least
that's all it is.
The way it seems.
That's all it is. Yeah, that's all it is. As soon as they realize, like, damn, that's not paying out like we thought it would. Yeah, I could have told you like 1.5 to 3% of the population's not going to pay off that well. You're really going for a niche fucking area there. But then they pull out. They're like, fuck this, because that's all it boils down to.
Yeah. 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 Anything else you want to throw in before we get up out of here, man?
Kick rocks, dude. Smell you laters.
All right. Yeah, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you getting down in the chat.
Smoking along, of course.
All right. We got Dogface in the chat too, asking about weed. I did just hit a dab. I've been more or less kind of saving them to the end, just because I like to be somewhat coherent during the show. Most of the time, I've noticed I forget what I'm talking about just slightly less when I don't smoke during the show, and just kind of save it for the last segment and stuff like that. But
I'm puffing the whole time, dude. Always
right.
Smokeless oils, fucking whatever, man.
Yep. But anyway, we appreciate y'all guys stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. And have a good one. Bug off.
It's my letter.
Oh, and I'm just gonna have to exit out of it. We're stuck.
Smells.
Peace.